Good morning. Oh, yeah, you're sexy. Good morning and welcome back to my channel. My name is Nina and this is A Really Good Life. Today is the 1st of April, which is April Fool's Day, and we are well and truly in the middle of autumn. Hence why, outfit of the day, I am dressed for success. I am wearing a Virtuelle from TS14 jumper. Absolutely love this jumper. It has giraffes. I think it's giraffes and zebras. Hey! All over it, and I've got 17 Sundays, harem pants on, and my Asics shoes. I'm actually off to physio this morning, so I'm definitely going to take you along to physio. In this vlog, I'm going to be talking about self-acceptance and my weight loss journey. That'll come a little bit later. It's amazing how many friends you have when you have dentist sticks. Look at this. And Australian piggy feet. Oinkers. Yeah, oinkers. Look at them. So many friends. You want an oinker? Okie dokes. Let me open them up. Hey, I've only got one hand. Oh, this is going to be tough. Oh, this is going to be tough. Tough. Ah, Dante. Good boy. Oh, jeepers. Oh, I'm dropping everything. Oh my God. Okay, wait. One for you. Kenny, hang on a tick, darling. I didn't forget ya. I ran out of oinkers. Hello, catastrophe, and I've had to give him a dentist stick. Oh, darling, sweetie. There we go. Good boy. Boy. I'm just sitting out the front of my house right now waiting for wheelchair taxi to turn up. Selchuk is taking me into my weekly physio session. Thank God for NDIS, because before the National Disability Insurance Scheme, I was only ever entitled to 5 free visits of physio per year through a healthcare plan, or very intermittent, like neuro rehab at a local hospital. So these days, I am a lot better for it physically. But anyway, point is, I want to talk about self-acceptance. So I do bus stop film class, and if you don't know who Bus Stop Films is, Google it. They're an NDIS approved provider of inclusive filmmaking. Oh my God, my phone just went off. Then, sorry about that. What was I saying? Oh yeah, NDIS approved provider of inclusive filmmaking. So we're about to start shooting a documentary in regards to acceptance. I want to focus my part in that documentary on self-acceptance. Self-acceptance to me is having a realistic appraisal of your strengths, your weaknesses, and knowing yourself and liking yourself, and being completely comfortable with who you are. Oh my God, my taxi's here. I have to go. We will talk about this soon. I've got to go to physio. Jesus, he's early. I've just come back from physio. I've made myself a Tetley's. I didn't get to film much in physio because I actually had a chat to my physio and I said, look, I am fat, let's be honest. And I want to get from 113 kilos down to say 99 kilos. And that is achievable, that's doable. So it's not because I think that I don't look good or it's nothing to do with aesthetics. It's because simply 80% of my day would be spent sitting on my butt. I'm either using my wheelchair, sitting on my walker, sitting at an office desk, sitting inside a car. I'm always sitting. Now, your portion size has to decrease in order to account for that when you're a wheelchair user, and mine simply hasn't. So the weight's been creeping up. Now I need to pull it back down. So I'm going to go and see my GP and get a care plan drawn up so I can access a dietitian. And my YouFoods meal delivery has just come for the week. There's some frozen, oh my God, they're so cold, frozen blocks inside. YouFoods, kick ass, repeat. And my sandwiches are all in here for work. My chicken Caesar sandwich, my roast beef and mustard pickle sandwich. So, oh, what's this one? Ham, cheese, tomato and pickles. What's this? And my loaded, I thought I'd test this out too, a loaded brekkie pie. So I use this for two reasons. One, fatigue management. Like I've explained in my previous vlog, fatigue is something that I live with and it's horrendous with primary progressive MS. And I also use this as a weight management tool because the portions are simply done and there is no extra. So I really need to start tightening up on what I eat. A little bit more exercise and a little less food, a little bit less in and a little bit more output. So I'll definitely take you along on my weight loss journey and I want you to keep me accountable. So you might see me eating a little less cake and a few more apples. But yeah, I'm going to go and I think I'll have a little rest for a bit. I'm really tired. I've got to go back out again later. But I've got to walk the dogs and have a rest before I head back out. That's doable, right? Isn't it? Yes. Doable. Oh my God. I want to eat them all. I'm just out walking the dogs before I've got to head off on the road again to do some more errands. So I'm just hiding here behind these bushes. On the other side of the bushes is the beach and the wind is starting to come up and it's really cold. So I thought I'd just nestle in here and I would answer some questions. So part of the... Dante, what's the matter? Part of the process of getting into this Bus Stop Films documentary and starting to film that is we have to create our own sort of script, and we're talking about acceptance. So I've been given these kind of test questions and I thought that I might just sort of answer a few. They're all about acceptance. So one of the questions which I thought was a really good one, and I'm going to answer it totally honestly as I can. Have you ever felt isolated within the community? Now, I thought that was a bloody good question. And I'd say, to an extent, I have felt isolated my entire life. I really have. When I grew up with a single mum and we were in like a big public housing estate. I had an absent father and my brother was absent too. So it was just me and mum. Now, poverty is the great social isolator. Absolutely. The difference... Like the kids that I was around were all from very similar backgrounds, so there wasn't that barrier between us. But then when I moved to another location when I was about 12 years old, I definitely noticed the difference between how you are viewed when you don't grow up in a normal family, and then you try and integrate with normal kids. It can be a challenge. Then you know, time has passed and now I have a disability. I'm 39 years old. I have MS, primary progressive, and that's a progressive disability. So every year you notice yourself getting a little bit worse, and that's just the nature of the beast. So what I find most isolating now is that I do involves paid support. So I go to the gym. I've got a paid support worker with me. I go to physio, you know, paid. I have a whole team of paid supports, and whilst I'm ever eternally grateful for that, because I do that, I then have no time and energy for you know, maintaining or forming friendships outside of that, because there's simply no time and no energy. I found that that's been the isolating factor, and I can live with that. That's just the way it is. But as much as I feel that having a disability is not, it hasn't been that huge an issue to me yet. Like, I've accepted self-acceptance, I've accepted the fact that I've got a disability, but it's definitely puts a wall between you and the rest of society to some extent. The next question on that sheet is, describe how you feel in society. That's a good one. Now, as a white woman with a disability, I feel like I'm in a pretty privileged position, regardless of the fact that I've got a disability. I'm educated. I own my own home. You know, I work. I have a voice. I can control and make decisions for myself. I have the supports that I need. I mean, I'm doing pretty good. So how do I feel in society? Well, the disability itself, whilst it does give its limitations, I still realise that I have a level of privilege that perhaps others don't. And I'm grateful for that. But how do I feel? How do I feel in society? I generally feel like I have potential. I feel like I have a future. I feel like there is a place for me and I have something to offer, despite of, you know, despite of the fact that I have a disability. The final question is, have you ever felt like you haven't been accepted into society, or a time when you didn't feel accepted? And I love that question. These are really good questions. They require a lot of thought. Perhaps more thought than I can give whilst I'm riding with one hand my scooter, like hello Sally. That is just, maybe I need a little bit more thought, a cup of Tetleys before I can answer these questions. But have I ever felt not accepted in society? Well, Jesus, yes, absolutely. I think in general, whilst times may be changing gradually, and particularly with the introduction of the National Disability Insurance Scheme, I think disability rights and visibility of those with a disability is absolutely improving and becoming more and more obvious, and inclusion is becoming less of an afterthought and more of an actuality. But still, yes, there is a long way to go. I think there's a long way to go before those with a disability are fully accepted and included into society. I don't want to get too political and have a rant, even though I'm dying to. And I hope I do live to see the day when people with a disability are fully included and not just tolerated in mainstream society. Now that would be a really good day. Hi everyone, it's Tuesday afternoon now. I've just finished work. I'm out on my Baytech and I'm riding home from work. It's, you know, middle autumn now and it's cooled down. I'm just feeling funky, fine and fresh. I just wanted to just roll today. I didn't want to use a taxi or get picked up by anyone. I just wanted to roll, baby, roll. Left the office, I'm cruising along the beach and I saw my friend Fasu, and he's a lovely man. Oh my God, I love Fasu. Fasu, if you're watching this, you are awesome. He has his new Frontier wheelchair from Magic Mobility, delivered recently. Funded fully by NDIS, and new prosthetic legs. So the man is like a new man. Woo! It is so good to see People with a disability getting the supports that they need to live an ordinary life, or dare we say a really good life. Anyway, so back to my little chat I was having earlier about acceptance. I would say that this is part of acceptance too. Accepting that I have a disability and actually using mobility aids that I can get and use to further my life in a positive way, i.e. the Baytech. So that's part of acceptance too. Actually acknowledging that I have limitations and I need help. Accepting help in all of its forms. I'm trying to ride with one hand, so I'd better get off, but I'm going to leave you here, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll talk again. Hey mate, when I get home, because that would be just a really good day. Go silly! Silly! Oh, nothing like when a bit of speed kicks up. Now that actually doesn't look too bad. That is lamb shanks with mashed potatoes and peas and a mint sauce and a sugar-free kombucha. Dinner is served.